So I think that might have been part of it, but let's get our acceleration here. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, I'm going to be going over a 2022 Jeep Wrangler Rubicon. First and foremost, so a huge shout out and thank you to the Large Miller Jeep Chrysler here in Sandy, Utah for giving me some time with this Rubicon. Check out their inventory in the description down below, and this Rubicon is available for sale. If you're interested, reach out to them. Let's get into the video. So under the hood, we have a naturally aspirated 3.6 liter V6 that goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 19 around town and then 24 on the highway, with power outputs being 285 horsepower and then 260 pound-feet of torque. Now let's go over the front end of the Rubicon. So first off, you guys notice we have Rubicon here on the side, and then we have the cool hood vents. Even though they're not functional, they look great. And then you guys can see those two little things right there. That's what you lower the windshield onto. And then we've got the halogen bulbs on this one with the base turn signals. We've got Jeep signature front grille. We've got the red tow hooks that signify this is a Rubicon. Fog lights here at the bottom. And you can kind of see the front suspension through there. Looks pretty cool, pretty aggressive. And overall, there's my shadow, sorry. There's the front end. Coming around the side here, we've got 33s, and those are wrapped around 17-inch wheels in the front and over in the rear end. Look at those rock rails. Anyways, you guys can see here with the tires, really aggressive with the tread pattern, great for off-road use. And then you guys can see here with the front suspension. Now this is lifted compared to a regular Wrangler. That's why it looks so aggressive. Got the Jeep logo here, and notice how it's got the red on it. Our trail rated badge. And then also the mirrors match the oversized fender flares. And coming here to the side, you guys can see this one is a soft top, which I've been told is actually pretty rare with the Wranglers nowadays, because it seems like everyone's going for the hard tops. Anyways, you guys can see the whole soft top setup and everything, and then also we have the fuel door here in the back. And then the Rubicon does have special shocks also. And there's that. So here's our key fob. We have our unlock, our lock, and then you guys can see that for the horn, Jeep logo on the back, and then the flip out function with the key. You guys have seen that a bunch. Also, I just noticed, look at that, there's a little Jeep there. Pretty cool. Anyways, let's pop here into the rear, which locks and unlocks with the key. Pretty nice. You guys can see that opening. We've got the JL diagram right here. Now with the soft top, you can unzip it, but I find the easiest thing is just to open this up and then just deal with it. But that's just me. You guys can see storage space here, and then for the top, even if it has a soft top, it still shows, it still has that. And then you guys can see the floor mats here in the back. Got a 12 volt right there. This one does have the Alpine sound system as well. And bada bing, bada boom, done. Now finishing things up here in the rear, this one has the base taillights. We've got a 33 here on the back, and the wheel is just like all of the other wheels for the spare. Camera there in the center. Red tow hook down below with the receiver hitch also. And there you go. Now here's the door panel in the rear. We've got some padding here to rest your arm. You got the cargo net down below, and then you guys can see here for the door handle. And then here are the seats. This one has the base seats, so they're cloth seats. They have really cool red stitching. It's kind of hard to see. So here's off to the sides, you can see the red stitching in the seats. And then here we've got the vents. You've got the window controls here in the center. You've got the power outlet, all that fun stuff. Some cup holders down below. And also, if you guys want to see storage, or rather legroom and all that, there you go. There you go. Let's head to the front. Now here's the door panel at the front. You guys can see again with the padding and then the door handle. We've got our mirror adjustments right here, door lock and unlock. And here's a quick look at the mirrors. And then we've got the seats here for the front. Again, Rubicon logo there with the red stitching just down below. And you guys can see that with all of the manual seat adjustments. Pedal layout right there. Got our light control here with the fog light, and then also the red trim because this is a Rubicon. And there's where we'll look before we pop in. So here is the steering wheel for the Rubicon. You've got really nice leather trim around with the red stitching down the center, cruise control here. And then also we got our voice command phone controls for the center stack, and then radio controls in the back. We have our turn signal stock, we have our windshield wiper stock, and that's all for the steering wheel. So here's our center gauge cluster. Notice all of the red around it, and then notice how we've got the RPMs on the one side, you got the speed on the other side, and then you have the screen here in the center, which will let you scroll through a bunch of different menus. The thing that's the most important is not fuel economy, it's off-road status. And yeah, also tire pressure. Let's see where we're at. Good for me to know. Good for me to know. there you go. Now here's the center infotainment system. First off, if we pop it into reverse, notice we got a backup camera with trajectory lines that do turn with the steering wheel. And as for the rest of the infotainment system, response time on the screen is great. My gloves weren't working in the last video, but in this video they seem to be working properly. We've got dual zone climate here, and then also navigation. And that's what I was talking about. Is like I press multiple times. It's not the screen, it's the glove. The glove is being funny. Anyways, you guys can see here, works great. And see, this is what I'm talking about. I need new gloves, people. There you go. That's the infotainment system. There you go. We've got analog controls here for the climate system and also for the infotainment system with like the radio controls, all that. We have our off-road cruise control. I always mention this in Jeep videos, but I love the recirculate button because it's a little Jeep. And then auto stops right if you want to turn that function off. And then kind of like our charging station, and then window controls here in the center. And then, since this is a Rubicon, you have front and rear lockers, right? You can lock the rear only if you want, but if you want to lock the front, you have to lock the rear as well. Off-road Plus, we got our sway bar, disconnect. We've got our auxiliary switches right here, shifter for the 8-speed automatic. And then you guys can see here with our driveline select, we have our 2-wheel high, 4-wheel high, neutral, and then 4-wheel low. A couple cup holders with the key holder. We've got our brake right next to it. And then you guys can see here with the center console setup. And then again, red here on the dash, which is pretty cool. And then you got the grab handle. And then you guys can see here with the glove box setup. And then again, since this is a soft top, you basically can just unlatch it and pull it back, all that fun stuff. And then, you know, have your fun top off driving. But we're not gonna do that today because it's 49. It feels colder than that, but apparently it's 49 degrees outside. So there's a ton of glare, so you guys probably can't see the window sticker. Basically, after all options on this one, stickers for $50,180. And let's take it out and see how it drives. Let's talk about visibility before we set off. You guys can see visibility over the hood. I'll just put this up. I'll be blind for a second. Both the mirrors throughout the rest of the rear, and let's set off. So setting off in the Rubicon with the soft top, and I will make some comparisons to the hard top because I just drove a Willys edition before this that has the hard top. Just to, you know, kind of give you guys an idea so you can figure out which one you want to go for. First thing I want to mention is this definitely is noisier than the hard top. Like, it almost sounds like a window's open with the soft top. That's like the best way to describe it. Whereas the hard top has enough insulation that you actually feel like the windows are all closed and you're in an enclosed vehicle. This, you don't get that. So some of you might love that, some of you might not love that. So hopefully that helps out if you're deciding if you're gonna do hard top over soft top. Aside from that, with the Rubicon package, driving this back to back with the Willys edition, you can actually feel a difference with the shock absorption. It seems like this definitely absorbs things a little bit better with these shocks. In terms of ride quality though, this actually feels smoother. Believe it or not, the Rubicon actually feels, especially over little bumps and everything. I wonder if it's also due in part to the tires. That one had kind of like mud terrain tires, whereas this is more of like an all-terrain setup. So I think that might have been part of it, but let's get our acceleration here. Peppy. And if I pop it into manual mode, super smooth with the gear shifts. I love this 8-speed automatic in the Wrangler. It's great. So I guess that we will now start getting summing things up here with the Rubicon and then with the soft top and all that kind of stuff. So first off, exterior wise, the Rubicon looks fantastic. If you just want a cool looking Jeep from the factory, the Rubicon does that. It's got the, you know, aggressive all-terrain tires. It's lifted, and it just, you know, it just has this aggressive, with the hood vents and everything, it just has this aggressive appearance to it. And then interior wise, it's nice. The one thing that I will mention is this is pretty similar in price to that Willys that I reviewed. This doesn't have as many features as that. That one had heated seats and heated steering wheel, for example, remote start as well. So there's a couple things that this is missing compared to that. And they're relatively similar from a price point perspective. And then in terms of the driving, it drives really well. It's very smooth and comfortable for a Jeep, right? I will say that. Now, you know, if you're going from like a luxury car, right, this is not going to feel as good. But if you're going from like an older Jeep to this is going to feel like a luxury car, if that makes sense. And you know, the Rubicon just drives great. You have, you know, better dampening and everything because of the shocks that this has and all that. So there's a lot of benefits here to the Rubicon. And I guess, you know, obviously the off-road stuff, I have taken one of these off-road. If you guys just look up Ben Hardy, you know, Rubicon off-road, whatever, and it should pop up with the videos where I took one of these off-road. Just everyone knows that Jeeps are amazing off-road, but seriously, these things are crazy off-road. So if you want something that has, you know, off-road capabilities, so you can do adventures in it, but also looks really cool, and is actually daily drivable. The Rubicon does give that to you. But I will say, you know, I reviewed that one today as well, that Willys. That one's kind of more of like, you know, it doesn't have the same off-road capability, but that one's more daily drivable than this one because it has a few more creature comforts and obviously the hardtop as well. Now that's gonna sum things up for our video on this 2022 Jeep Wrangler Rubicon. Again, a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry Schmiller Jeep Chrysler here in Sandy, Utah for giving me some time with this Rubicon. Check out the inventory in the description down below. I'll see you guys.